Hey everybody, I'm coming making this video message and I just want to tell you all to stop complaining. Just stop complaining. Stop murmuring. In Philippians chapter 2 and chapter 4, and I'm just paraphrasing now, those scriptures are basically telling us to do things without complaining, without murmuring, because in doing so we will be blameless. And you guys have to understand that when you are busy complaining, you start to develop a attitude or a mindset of being angry and negative all the time. And I think every single one of us is guilty of this. But I want you all to start to take more notes on what it is you're complaining about. There are some people, they complain about every single thing that could go wrong in their life. They will complain about things and speak things into existence that have not even happened yet, because in their mind it has turned into a mindset of negativity, and they don't see the positivity in anything. But let me tell you guys what begins to happen when you start being a complainer, when you start grumbling, when you start murmuring. When you start doing these things, a lot of times the things that you are complaining about, they will get taken away from you. You will lose them, or they will be destroyed. I hear so many people, they complain about their job. Now, there are people out here, they are crying and praying, going before God every chance they get, begging God to open up a door or a window of opportunity so they can work and have a job, so they can stop asking people to loan them money, or so they can feed their family and pay their bills. Some people want a window or a door opportunity to open because they have a generous heart and they want to bless other people. But then on the flip side of that, you have some people that are always complaining about their job. They're complaining, and it's not that it's necessarily something going wrong at their job. Things and people are just not acting the way that person wants them to act. They want everything their way. Do you know some people like that? They want everything to be the way they want it to be. It's their way or the highway. It's the whatever that person name is, it's their show. And if they cannot get people to act the way they want, if they cannot get certain things that they want, then they start to grumble. Then they start to murmur. Then they start to complain until, God forbid, they get fired, they get blindsided by getting laid off, or they get sick and they can't even get up to go to work. I need you all to pay attention to what are you complaining about. Count your blessings. Although you may work a job that may not be the best, you may not care for the boss, because it's a lot of BS that goes on with your boss or HR or corporate. There may be employees that you don't care for them. But you got to put yourself back in check and say, but do I have a job? Is this job helping me to pay my bills? The job that you're currently at right now could just simply be a stepping stone. While you work that job and you stay in prayer and you have faith, God could be working something else out for you. God knows every single thing you're going through. He sees everything that you're going through. And if you're going to God, asking God to give you better, or telling God that you want better, you have to trust and believe that God is going to do that and even more for you. But while you are at that job, stop complaining about it. Because there are some people, they would kill to be in your position. They would kill to have that little job that you complain about every day. If you can buy yourself food, if you can pay a phone bill, if you could pay your car note, if you can loan somebody a couple of dollars, if you could pay your rent, I don't care how it's set up, because honestly, real talk, there are some people, they have a system where they're plugged with their landlord or a property owner. And on the date that their rent is due, they may not be able to pay their rent in full that day. But they may tell their landlord, okay, with this check, I'm going to give you $400 or $500. And in another 2 weeks, when I get the other check, I'll give you the other $300 or $400 or $500. However that looks for you. The point I'm making is stop complaining. Because if you were to lose that job right now, there is going to be an inconvenience for you, especially if you have been blindsided. There are some of you, you complain about that family member that you have to help. All of us have been guilty of it. I've been guilty of it. Until God takes them away. God forbid God takes them away. And then when they're deceased, you start to appreciate them. You start to appreciate how they made you laugh. You start to appreciate how they may have helped you. You start to appreciate the conversations you had with them. I'm not saying, guys, that this stuff is easy, but you have got to stop complaining. Count your blessings. Stop complaining about your children. There are some people, they can't stand their kids. They kids get on their last nerves. They never clean up the house. They eating up all the food. You just spent $200, $300, $400 on groceries Saturday, and today is Monday. Everything's gone. You complaining about their attitudes. You complaining, not really understanding that children conduct themselves a certain type of way when they are young. It doesn't matter how disciplined they are and how well you have taught and trained them. Kids are going to be kids. Teenagers act a certain way. Teenagers sometimes are very arrogant. They're very self-centered. They only think about their self. I'm sorry. The world revolves around them. They think they know it all. Teenagers tend to be lazy. They're shiftless. There is a lot that goes on with teenagers. Their hormones are raging. They have smart mouths. And they have a lot of battles in their mind and in their emotions because they are constantly growing and they're going through puberty. But stop complaining about them, because if God blessed you, He blessed you as a father to have children. You got to count your blessing. If God blessed your womb, ladies, to have a daughter or to have children, period, or that son that you wanted, count your blessings. Stop complaining. Stop grumbling and murmuring, because there is a woman, there is a man that is crying and praying because they cannot have children, or they're having a hard time having children. There is something physically going on with them. And when they see you, they sit back and they say to themselves, man, if I could be in her place, I wish I had a baby. I wish I had a son. I wish I had a daughter. There are some men and women, they go home every day and they don't even have children. They don't have anybody that can protect them or look after their home or their things when they're gone out of town or when they're at work. But you, on the other hand, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 kids or more. And all of your kids, they may get on your nerves. They may drive you up the wall. But they're there protecting the fort. They're holding it down. Your kids make you laugh. They keep you humble. Sometimes your children, they will come to you and put a mirror to you and show you things about yourself that you have to change. Count your blessings, because there is someone out here that may wish they were in your position. You may be the altar worker in the church. You may be a minister or a deacon or the Sunday school teacher. And there is people that always call on you to do other people's jobs in ministries. I've been there, so I know some of you out there, you've been there too. You doing work for other people and you don't even have the title. But they have the title. They have the position. But they not even doing half of what you doing. Don't complain. Don't complain, because while you're going the extra mile doing that work, you're still learning. That can be God putting you in a position where he's training you. You never know. You don't have the title now. You don't have the position now. But because you're putting in that work, because you're learning along the way, a time may come where it is time for you to get elevated in that position as a pastor, as a teacher, as a deacon, as a deaconess, as a minister. And you won't have to jump through hoops. You don't have to go through the hardcore training like you would had you not been doing the work you've been doing so far. Count your blessings. Stop complaining. Some of you complaining about your car. I hear people, they complain about their car. I've heard people say, I hate my car. My car is beat up, it's old, it's raggedy. I want a 2024. I want a 2023. If I could get a 2020, I'd be happy with that. I'm tired of putting money in my car. It don't make no sense. But you have a car. I'm not saying that you won't get tired of putting money in it. That's an investment. Sometimes you might have to spend money to slowly rebuild your car. But is the car still running? Do you have that car in your possession? You don't know how something can turn around in your life. You may just go ahead and get that blessing, and God sends someone to you to bless you with some money, and you can go and buy you a new car. Or you get enough money so you can get what needs to be repaired done to your car. Stop complaining. There are people in this hot sun that's on the train, that's on the bus stop, or they're sitting at home waiting for someone who said they're going to come pick them up and take them to run their errands. And unfortunately, some people will be stood up. Somebody may have told them, I will come pick you up. I will take you and your children to the doctor, to the dentist. I will take you to the grocery store. I will take you to look at that apartment. I will take you to your mom's house. I will take you to your father's house. I'll take you to your friend's house. But then they jump ship. They stand you up. They don't come. They stop answering their phone. But you, with your little raggedy car that you complain and grumble and murmur about, you can walk out your house and you can get in your little car and you can drive to your mother's house, to your father's house, to your friend's house. You can go to the grocery store. You can go to the mall. You could drive to church. You can even give somebody else a ride. Your car may be making that noise and the loud bumping sound. It may have rust on it. You may have some locks on your doors that's broke, but you still have a car. Stop complaining. Stop murmuring. Stop grumbling. Be appreciative. Be thankful. Be grateful, because there is always someone that either wants what you have or they are going through something worse than you. Stop complaining about everything not going right. Look at what can go right. Be positive. You have to learn how to persevere. You have to learn how to be optimistic. People are not optimistic. Where you are today, right now, that is not where you're always going to be. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. I know you want to cuss somebody out. I know some of you all, you sit back and you say to yourself, when is something going to change? I've been going through this for 5 years. I've been going through this for 10 years. I've been going through this for 20 years. It seems I keep getting the short end of the stick. I can't catch a break. What's the problem? What's going on? But you got to be positive. You got to be optimistic. You got to know that your life is going to change. But you got to be patient and you got to wait on God, because it's up to God to change your situation. He does it in his timing when he gets ready. So if the word of God is telling us to be grateful, to be appreciative, if the word of God is telling us to stop complaining, stop grumbling, stop murmuring. Some of you all, you murmur. Murmuring is just when you have you making certain comments, you saying certain little things under your breath. You saying little things about other people or situations, and they can't really make out what you saying. You got to change your attitude. You have to change your outlook. Stop being negative all the time. Stop always looking for every single thing that can go wrong if it hasn't even went wrong. I don't like being around those types of people. They start saying things are going wrong that have not even happened yet. So ultimately, you're speaking things into existence. Stop speaking negatively. Stop speaking word curses over yourself and over your life and over your health and over your body. Stop speaking curses over your job and over your car and even over your house. It's people that complain about how their house look. I'm tired of this raggedy house. It's falling apart. Stuff is going wrong. But it's people that's sleeping in their car. It's people that's, living in the streets. It's people that have to live with somebody else. But you complaining about how your house look? You saw somebody on Instagram. You saw somebody on Facebook. You saw a video on somebody living in a big, huge, lavish, luxurious house. But you're not looking at yours being happy, that it's just a roof over your head. Stop complaining. Stop grumbling. Stop murmuring. Be optimistic. Be positive. Look at the beauty in situations and stop looking at what could go wrong. Stop looking at all the negativity in a situation. You never allow what's going on around you, or even sometimes what's going on within you, to take away your joy and your peace. You have to push past it. Stop wanting people to feel sorry for you. Stop pitying yourself. I tell you all the time, knock it off with the self-imposed abuse. God is even saying in his word, he does not like the complaining and the murmuring, because that house, that job, that car, those kids, your spouse that you complain about, you don't seem to be able to see anything beautiful in your husband or your wife. You don't seem to be able to pick out anything positive about them. Although you may be going through the fire with your husband or your wife right now, but you gotta look at the fact that you still have someone that's living this thing called life with you. There are men and women praying for a spouse. Some people are on the last string of hope, to where they have gotten so heartbroken at the fact that they don't have a husband or a wife, they'll take just about anybody right now. They don't care about how they look, as long as they respect them. They would just thank God that they have someone in their life, so they can come out a season of what they feel is loneliness. But you have a husband or a wife. They may not be perfect, but you know they love you. Every day you come home, they're there. They may not do everything exactly the way you want them to do it, but if you ask them to do something, it does get done, or eventually it gets done. Stop complaining. Stop grumbling. Stop murmuring. Count your blessings. Don't let anything going on within you or around you steal your joy. Be grateful and appreciative for what you have now. I don't care how great or how little or how minor it is, because it could be that when you stop being grateful and appreciative and you start complaining and murmuring, that God could snatch the very person or people or things that you complain and grumble and murmur about away from you. That's the video message. Well, guys, it's time for me to go because I have some other things to do. The Lord willing, I will be back with another video message. If any one of you have taken offense to anything I've spoke about in this video message, it's okay. It's all right. I'm not worried about it. I am not concerned because I know you will forgive me in the morning.